Hey, so this is our second church service that we're going to do in this village. Really excited, and we can definitely tell people are praying for us. We continue to ask for prayer as we continue to go into this village. After praying about it, it looks like we're going to preach on John, the Gospel of John. And so we're starting that today. Chapter 1, verses 1 through 13. And so it just talks about who Jesus is. He is the light. Man, that's huge, because in this world there is darkness, but the darkness isn't anything. It's just the absence of light. And as Christians, as believers, we have the light. We have the ability to go and communicate this true light, and it exposes, and it gives hope. And we get to be carriers of that light to share with others. Okay, so now we are translating the sermon we're going to do in John chapter 1 into Catch a Kill. We got to go English, Spanish, and then to Catch a Kill. And so, yeah, we're doing the work so that they can understand it in their own language. All right, here we are. Second service. Heading to the village. Second service in this village, wrapping up. Adios. Okay, so we just finished second service, started preaching through the book of John. We're going to keep doing that week after week. And pray that this church continues to grow here. And so anyone who watches this, please pray for this area, Chuitziut. Because we want this to continue to grow and be a light to other villages around here, and Lord willing, to the nations. And so, God's will is accomplished through the prayer of his saints. So we're praying. We're praying for the church to get established here. Hey, so I wanted to make a part 2 of the video about how to plant a church where there is none, because I think that first video could be a little bit misleading. And so I want to give a little bit of context, because if you just watch that video, you may think, oh wow, that's really easy. He's been in Guatemala 2 months. He's already planting a church. And it's just not that easy. Backstory to this village and this church. The guy I met who was seeking to plant a church in this area, his ministry had been going to this village for years and years and years, helping people and they knew they needed to plant the church, but they needed help. The hard work of proclaiming Christ had already been done for years, and helping people and showing the love of Christ and communicating the gospel had been done. What was lacking was the church. And that's what the Great Commission is all about. Yes, proclaiming Christ, preaching the gospel, but we also have to make disciples. And how do you make disciples? Well, you plant churches. That's how you do it. So you can continue to proclaim the gospel, that you can encourage one another, rub shoulders with one another. And so the work of the Great Commission of planting churches is hard work, and it takes a lot of time. If you read missionary biographies where people have gone, that's what it takes. There's a quote, and I'll put it in the description of this video, but there's a quote by a missionary who spent years and years and saw so much pain and suffering, and I believe his name is Judson. He, during his funeral, one of the family members said, if you are succeeding without suffering, it's because others have suffered before you. If you are suffering without succeeding, it's so that others will succeed after you. And that's incredibly important when you're thinking about the mission field and planting churches and going to unreached areas, because it's hard ground and it takes years to plant churches. And that's what we're seeing. I'm blessed to come down here and serve and help this ministry and this church at this particular time to see where the church is being planted. And it's only because of years and years of this ministry helping, preaching, and serving these villages. And so, if you have any questions or comments, please post them under this video. And so that way I can respond. And because there's probably more to be said that I haven't said. There's no shortcut to the mission field. And a lot of times we can become really pragmatic where just let's do what works. And we can avoid some of the foundational things that are necessary for planting a church. There is no shortcut. And it truly is impossible without Christ. We have to trust Him. We have to seek Him. We have to pray to Him. We have to do it the biblical way. And sometimes that takes time.